The following podcast contains language and themes that some people may find offensive. There is also talk of tennis and blackbirds. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to That Was the Week That Was it? The podcast that asks, how can we be lovers if we can't be friends? I'm Alex Sievewright, and joining me for this episode is Emi Webber.
Hello, again.
I'm not gonna ask how you are.
Because I specifically said, don't ask how I am.
Yeah, because it seems weird because we live in the same house.
Yeah.
Yeah. How am I?
How are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Well, our guest for this episode is an impressionist, actress, and voiceover behemoth, I'm going to say. It's the wonderful Kate O'Sullivan. Hello, Kate.
Oh, hi. I'm allowed to ask Emi how she is, though, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
I don't live with you.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's not like a blanket rule that if you live with me, you're just not allowed that information.
And it does only, it does only apply to the podcast. It's not in general. It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm constantly on edge.
Me in the spot, and it's such a loaded question. I overthink it.
Yes, it can be. Yeah, particularly in the
It's
past
not
2
about
years,
me.
huh?
Now, so I'm going to get this out of the way now. I'm a huge voiceover fan. I have been for years and years and years. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you, Kate. I have become slightly obsessed
I
with
hate your
voice.
work. But oh, sorry. What?
No,
Yes.
no, I have become so obsessed with your voice because you are literally everywhere,
Oh.
and you
I'm sorry about that.
you pop up all over the place. And I mean, you've been the voice of Maybelline. You're the voice of Maybelline for like 16 years.
Yeah, that was a real long tenure.
One of the station voices of Absolute Radio, of course. And people have definitely heard your voice. Definitely. So, what's that like?
I've been doing it for a long time. Time. Yeah, since the mid-90s. So, yeah, it's inevitable. But wow, it's been so brilliant. It's been such a fantastic turnaround, from being an actor in a drafty church hall, bringing your own water and, sort of petrified about cocking up the audition song that you'd brought with you. And then somebody's offering you lunch in a studio and then paying you to be there. It's like, yeah.
That's when you know you've made it, isn't it? When
It's
people
been
offer you lunch.
fantastic. Yeah. So, yeah.
A particular voiceover that you've done that you're the most proud of, though?
God, that's a good question. Well, I suppose it's one that I've actually done, or I'm redoing, or I'm sort of adding to in the past week.
Oh, yeah.
Which is quite amazing. So I don't know whether you want to launch straight in there, but
Well, if that's part of it, absolutely. Well, actually, before we do that, we did discuss this in the email. I want to
Yes.
get this out of the way now. You spoke about our acronym of That Was the Week That Was it?
Yes.
And
Yes, it's fantastic. So it's better than Absolute Radio's 10 weeks of tickets, which is which reads very well. And I would be tempted to sort of, I mean, I like to get wutter fur and wutter fur, and so wutter. Oh God, I've just cocked it up completely. Toa wee, isn't it? I mean, something like that.
See, an old co-host of mine said it was like an owl, so it'd be like a
Yes, very good. Yeah.
But I can't help but see twat. It just says twat. Why? So.
Well, I think maybe you need to doctor the name of the show to accommodate that that very pithy acronym. Yeah, that would really be memorable, wouldn't it? Twat, twatter, wee. Yeah.
So that was also the week that. Oh no! But anyway,
that was.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Next time.
Yes. So the reason you're here, Kate, is your week. Now, tell us. Monday. We're going to start there. What was that like for you?
Well, Monday was actually one of the best days ever, actually, because I was in the studio and I was beak syncing.
Right.
Yeah, so it's for an artist who has an installation at the minute in Helsinki. And during lockdown, we had this very weird session where I came in and he was on Zoom and the engineer was masked and I was masked until I got in, the usual. And I was a blackbird.
Oh.
And it was for his project, which is exploring racism and immigration. And that time, of course, Brexit was very much on our minds. And so I had to be a blackbird, which it was just a delight. 4 hours of listening to Blackbird song and replicating it. And but actually using script. So,
wow. Okay. I was going to say, why were you replacing a blackbird? They could have just used a blackbird, but if you're using words, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, but it, damn. Well, you know what? Helsinki Museum bought it, so I mean...
I'm not trying to put you out of a job or anything. I'm just So what does that sort of sound like? What does that?
Well, I suppose if you it's really hard to explain. I'm actually rather wishing that I hadn't kind of embarked on this, because it was so complicated. It was so forensic and painstaking, which is partly why I loved it, because I am an anorak for sound. And so the chance to just be with a sound engineer. And so they slow the blackbird down. And then within the rhythm of that particular sort of footage and the phrasing that blackbird delivered within that footage, I had to fit certain phrases like all immigrants out. I mean, really horrible racist stuff. But so the idea was that this beautiful bird is a really racist bastard.
I knew it.
So it had title. I've got a robin coming up next, and that one you can kind of you can believe it of them. Aggressive little birds, aren't they? So that was really fantastic to be able to do that. But I wasn't being a blackbird on Monday. I was being a goldfinch, and I was being a thrush, and I was being a nightingale. And the nightingale, that was fascinating, and how each bird differs. And the pigeon was not possible. We couldn't do the pigeon. The method we were using just wouldn't work for the pigeon. So we're probably going to go for a robin on the next session.
So this was literally like syncing it so the words were coming out of their beaks.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So it was a combination of mimicry, singing, acting, and obviously the rhythm was kind of weird of the phrases. No one would ever speak the way that I did, and then that is sped up to a point where the bird speak and my spiel match.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
That is very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
About it being racist is like because I've said before, recently, I think it was, I was having a conversation with someone. They're saying a little bird was singing to them. They think, I wonder what it's saying. Like, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
There's this little pretty bird just saying the most obscene words it can.
Well, you got to talk to the artist, Duncan. You clearly have the same idea, and we've got another session looming. So, yeah.
There's a rooster in our garden at the moment, all day, just obscenities. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's
over
what
and
you
over
hear.
Again. Yeah.
That's what you hear.
That is it.
And it could be, and the thing is that they don't have a larynx like we do. They have a syrinx, which I didn't know it was a thing. But it's a mysterious organ buried deep within the bird's chest, and it depends on to work. It depends on muscles that attach to the larynx's cartilage, and it's sort of almost so deep within it. It almost connects with the wings of the bird. That's how sort of deep within its chest. But each bird differs as well, and reptiles, amphibians, and mammals all have larynxes, but it's only birds that possess a syrinx. And so yeah, it was kind of because we were trying to work out why the sound was so complex, and it's because they can produce two notes or two sounds at the one time.
I see.
And and apparently they evolved about from dinosaurs 66 million years ago. I think it was 67 million years ago. It's the earliest fossilized syrinx.
Wow.
That's crazy. God, no wonder it took 4 hours. The
Yeah.
all the research
Yeah.
beforehand. So is that sort of vaguely similar? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I did before this. I kind of did a little bit of research. I watched a 15-minute compilation of Maybelline and L'Oreal adverts just to familiarize myself with your voice again, because I'm a geek.
And that's just his ritual
That's my ritual every day.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
What listening to my Maybelline adverts? Or
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, imagine it's kind of similar, but not to voicing, say, Penelope Cruz or someone like that, maybe, which I presume you did.
Yeah, well, I sort of replaced a couple of actresses on the L'Oreal sort of circuit over the years because I was cheaper.
Yeah.
I think they were sort of like 30 grand an hour and a car to get to the studio, and so.
And you just come like lunch. That's all you ask for. Just
That's it, lunch, and at the time a packet of Marlboro Lights. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Which I've since given up. But it was like it was. Sorry, I've lost my thread completely. We were talking about Maybelline, weren't we? Yeah, it was quite funny because they didn't want it to be too American, typically. So it was like, well, I was like, well, what percentage British or English do you want it to be? And they were like, I don't know, maybe like 4-5% kind of. And so I was like, okay.
It does sort of come across as well, because when you listen to it and I'm just kind of there's like little, the way you say certain words, it's still the American
so satin was a stumbling block because they satin, I was like, satin, it's got to be satin liquid, and they were like, oh no, we don't want satin, we want satin, we want to be able to hear satin. So at the risk of sounding like a really shit voiceover, I just kind of went with it in the end, whatever they. But they were it was a brilliant. Oh gosh, 16 years, as you said. And Nigel Anthony and I were once in the reception at Grand Central, and he was the Tesco man. Every little helps. And we were comparing length of service, and he was 16 years and 3 months, I think, at the time.
Wow.
So yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? It really is.
It is, yeah.
But
so anyway,
when was the idea for this podcast born then?
Lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just, I wanted to do something silly. And it was originally, as I envisioned it as like a completely improvised podcast where I just got improv guests on and we just made up a whole scenario. But that didn't really work out.
Just the funniest stuff was when people didn't realize that that's what you're after, and they would just answer seriously, and it would just be mundane things, that just created natural conversations and just funny anecdotes and things that came up from real life.
Yeah.
Some people still make stuff up, like Mike Fielding.
Mike Fielding did.
Is totally a mental episode, but. I could half believe some of the stuff was true as well with him.
That's true. But I've got to listen
to that one. I've got to listen to it.
The premise came from we were trying to think of because me and a guy called Cornelius Mendez were going to make a podcast of really bad podcasts, like clips from a review show. But somebody already did it. We didn't realize
The Framley, is it? The Framley?
I think
The
so.
Family
Yeah,
Examiner. Have you?
yeah, that's
With
the one.
Joel and Jason.
That's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
'Cause
Lewis and we did that one. Yeah,
Oh,
with
I
them.
see. Because we were working on the idea, and then there was a slight break, and then I think they tweeted about it, and I went to Con. Oh,
You know that podcast we're thinking of doing?
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit. But it was literally going to be. That was one of the ideas for the worst podcast. Was someone just asking how their week was last week. So they got a high-profile guest on, and they just said, "So how was Monday?" Monday was good. Tuesday, and the more I thought about it, I was like, you could just do that. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
do.
it's really, really clever. It's brilliant.
It
And
works.
it's great that it can be adapted the way that it has been throughout the series.
Yeah,
with, as you
it's
say,
evolved.
people sort of
Definitely
making it
evolved.
up or talking, and some people get confused, don't they, about which week they're in?
Yeah,
And
Yes,
that happens.
that does happen. Yes, yeah. Sometimes I just completely miss out the weekend because we're running out of time or whatever. But yeah, it's solid. So speaking of which, Monday was all about blackbirds. Tuesday, what was that like?
Oh, Tuesday. Sorry, I keep getting emails in, and it's so noisy, isn't it?
Oh, you're
there
so
we go,
busy.
deleted.
You're so busy.
Yeah, right. It was Waitrose probably.
Do you want to do another shift?
In my case, it's like delivery. Like, you hungry again?
Yeah, no, Tuesday mornings I hate. I really, really, really hate Tuesday mornings. I love it. I love later in the morning, but the early part of it is a cardio Pilates class that a friend is running and started in lockdown, and I'm committed now. That's it.
Yeah. That's a shame when you know them, isn't it? It doesn't. Yeah, it's not easy, is it?
No. So there's no way out with that one. So yeah, part of me does. I do feel fantastic afterwards, as I tell her, but I also tell her how much I struggle to actually get there and not find a reason to skip it and say, I'll just any feeble excuse will do. Anything.
So instantly, when you said it was during lockdown, I instantly thought, well, it must still be Zoom then, but I guess it's not.
No, it is, because it's so great. You can do it in your pajamas.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
you could pre-record one.
You could
just
pre-record myself.
Yeah, just a thought.
If only. Oh, don't give me ideas. Any chance I get.
Same video each week.
Yeah, Kate's doing her own thing again. Oh, it's possible.
Yeah. So that's how it starts, and then I feel really, really pleased with myself, and so I go into my absolute and magic job, which is a kind of a weekly commitment, and I go in there with a real sort of I feel great.
Nice.
Post glut.
How long have you been doing Absolute for now?
Oh gosh, it's getting on for, I suppose I was there when it was Virgin, so I was there 12 years ago. Yeah.
That's a long That's good
yeah,
as
it's
well.
been great. Yeah, they're a great bunch, and I say Absolute Radio a lot, and I'd love to know how many times now, but yeah, and they occasionally let me out to do other voices, which is nice.
That is good. That is good.
Yeah. So
see, I was convinced for a while, and it's a testament to your voice. And I'm trying to tone. I thought it was Catherine Parkinson who was doing the voice for a while.
Did you? Oh, I'm so flattered. Wow.
Because your voice is very.
I love
similar.
her voice.
Your voice is very, very similar, And I thought,
gosh,
Matt Berry, Catherine Parkinson. They got that's interesting.
Oh, from the IT crowd, yeah, of course, yeah, they know each other, and
but then it slowly dawned on me that no, it's not her at all.
Yeah, no, that's I'm really pleased. I'm so happy that you think that, because I have a bit of an allergy to sort of radio voices of various kinds. So there's sort of two main ones that kind of just make me shudder. And is that voice that goes down like that all the time.
Oh, yes.
Everything has the downward inflection, and it has to sound really like that. Just every single phrase. And it's like, where did that come from? Why do we think that everyone has to talk that way? And the other one is sort of the radio drama voice, which is a bit sort of, well, yes, I know, but of course. And you know that nobody talks like that, really. And it's just an actress trying to be authentic, and just somehow it doesn't kind of ring true. But Catherine Parkinson, I've always admired because it just sounds so authentic. Because I imagine she's a really good egg.
If it's any consolation, you can do a very good impression of her. It convinced me anyway. So
wow. Well, I'm gonna hone my Catherine Parkinson. Yeah, I'm just trying to think how she talks. It's quite sort of sweet like that, isn't it? And sort of flats and through the teeth a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll work on that.
That's weird. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm so it's just. Because, as I say, your voice is very iconic on Absolute Radio. You do, I mean, it is as iconic as Matt Berry's, and we used to listen to it all the time in the office where I used to work.
Did you? Oh,
yeah. I used to make them listen to it, and so it was.
And the Maybelline clips.
Yeah, and the Maybelline clips constantly on loop, constantly.
Maybe she's not born in the UK.
Maybe they're bored with it.
Maybe they're bored of it. Yeah. It's such a strange knack, though, isn't it? I mean, doing voices. I do try and steer away from that sort of impulse to repeat every voice that you hear that you find interesting or kind of, because it does piss people off quite a lot, actually. So I think I learned from an early age when I was suspended from school for doing impressions of the teachers and stuff, that you have to kind of you have to be very careful where you do that stuff. Unveil the new voice, because
have an internal impression voice.
It
always sounds better
in a way.
Mine always sounds mine's spot on. My internal impression voice.
In our heads.
So I mean, after your on a Tuesday, you've done the Pilates and the radio. That's your Tuesday? That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, I mean, this past Tuesday, I had to be signing a lot of NDAs. Stuff that I've done recently, and I'm getting more and more irritated by them, I must say.
Tell all.
Well, it's just I'd like to have my own NDA ready to hand out, wouldn't you? I mean, I obviously I'm saying this, and I realise you might be expecting me to come up with some, NDA template, but I haven't thought this through, clearly, have I? But it's just the ludicrous presumption that you're gonna do something, you're gonna broadcast the idea, you're gonna talk to everyone. I don't know, just everything about the whole concept of it. So what one clause is, due to the nature of the information disclosed, the company may require compensation from you for any loss suffered by the company or its clients caused by your failure to adhere to the terms of this agreement. The company or its clients may also seek an injunction and other appropriate relief. I mean, it's devastating, isn't it, to have to sign this shit?
That's just for Pingu, is it? Translation.
Please record. We love your talents, and we're going to pay you, but don't you dare fucking tell anyone.
Yeah, or anything you do if you irritate us, or if we choose to, if I don't know, it just the whole concept, and similarly with contracts, with whatever you buy or there's an exchange. So anyway, I had to grudgingly commit to sorting out the pile of NDAs that built up because I wouldn't go near them.
That's great, though. I mean, it shows you constantly high profile work there if you've got to
Yeah.
do NDAs all
Because
the time.
I think this is what it is turning us all. It's making cowards of us all. Generally, I think, especially if you're freelance, you just.
You're not in this position.
I don't really know what this is, but if I don't sign it,
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the NDA sort of part of Tuesday morning. Yeah. But on the plus side, Wix have got some great offers on decking at the minute. which my Absolute Radio scripts reveal to me, and the Umbria grey wood effect wall and floor tile is.
I mean, you must get all these offers ahead of everyone else. You must be like first in the line.
Oh, but then you have to sign an NDA saying you won't tell anyone about it.
Oh,
or,
so you have to act surprised when you go in there.
No, they don't. They're not like that. Absolutely. But no, I was the voice of MFI at one point, and it was Suggs, me and Suggs, and he actually sort of said, "Look, I've got a property in Whitstable, and I've got to put in a kitchen. Any chance, you could do me a deal, And I was like, wow, this is great. Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough.
Did he get it?
I'm guessing he did. Yeah. Who could refuse Suggs?
They're not going to say no to Suggs.
No.
No.
They're not. They're not.
So we'll move on. So Tuesday, NDAs, Pilates, and the radios.
Radios.
Yes. What was Wednesday to you, Kate?
Well, I think I was in Soho, and I think I was doing advertising some wine for festivals, and it's a kind of a new technique with digital stations where they can kind of put it out as the mood takes them and as the weather changes, so it covers all weather eventualities, and there were lots of pack your waterproofs, and pack your sunblock, and then that's all sort of knitted into
Don't come.
Not, but that one's never going to be used, is it? Realistically.
Into the ground.
So there was that, and then I had then I got home, and I think I spent most of the afternoon trying to iron a fitted sheet.
For see if you could. Just a challenge.
Yeah, just a challenge. Yeah. No, it's just I thought it might be nice, have nice, fresh, kind of laundered hotel level bed linen. Yeah. And what a mistake that was. Have you ever tried to? I mean, who would? Who would iron
I don't think you even have an ironing board, to be honest, at the moment, do we? We haven't got an iron. No.
Well, yeah, don't bother. Yeah, it's a waste of life, It really is. God, it was like trying to iron mercury. I mean, it curls up, and the bit that you think you've done gets wrapped up in another bit, and So I kind of abandoned it. Actually, I left it for my husband to finish. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah, which I don't think he did. Yeah.
First, I was picturing you abandoning it on the street, like an ironing board with the sheet half hanging off. Like, no, take it free to a good home. Yeah. I can't look at it anymore.
Like, take it away if anyone else wants it. You can have it. Yeah,
go nuts.
But I think fitted sheets. I mean, do you have fitted sheets? It was a king size fitted sheet.
Fitted, just unironed.
But I mean, even without the ironing, everything about them is kind of frustrating, isn't it? Because you don't know which end is which.
Oh
yeah.
Or even what size it is.
I'm not even convinced when we do get it to fit. I'm not convinced that's even the correct way. But if we put the corners on, and then
this is it.
I'm just gonna leave it. and
Yeah.
wait until it pings or something.
Wait till it pings off in the night, or
Yeah.
So I just resorted to hoovering or vacuuming with I've got a little Henry, which is quite nice, because sometimes they get stuck in the door, and it's got quite an endearing little sort of expression as it looks at you with its one eye that's concealed behind the door. Yeah.
Is this to do with all the wine? Like, was wine involved with the wine voice?
With the hoovering and the ironing. Eventually. Yeah. That was the only way I got through it.
Henry,
You're a good man, Henry. You're a good man.
Look at you helping me.
You're my best fucking mate. Yeah.
You're always there.
I fucking love you.
Give us a kiss. No. Stop it.
No, you're all right. You're all right. Come on. Let's. Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't really have brought all of that in. You need more interesting things for this podcast.
No, Kate. No, Kate. No, we don't. We don't need more interesting things. No, I will not have this. I've mentioned it before. John Holmes he put up a rotary dryer. So that's
rotary clothes hoist. Oh.
Yeah, he's doing really well for himself.
Well, there you go. It starts with the housework, you see.
That's it. That's
service. Right. That's what it's about.
Indeed. So we'll move on to Thursday then, if that is Wednesday.
That's the day after
it
Wednesday.
Is. I don't know why I'm so confused.
Hey, listen, do we need to just do it in order? Why can't we just we can just leave to Friday and then go back to Thursday?
Yeah,
no, we don't need to
add a bit of excitement to proceedings.
Keep the listener engaged.
Sometimes, Kate, I do that unintentionally.
Yep. It happens.
Oh. Well, I mean, lockdown, actually, I found myself writing a novel.
Oh.
So I now have 83,000 words to edit. So that is that's something that I kind of launch myself at whenever I get time. But it's quite funny because the idea started off as a short film in my head, and then I was like, oh gosh, that's going to be really, got to cast it, got to find the location, got to, get all the crew, got to set aside the time, and who's going to be the director. Oh, sod it, I'll just write a novel. Yeah, and that's like, whoa, how wrong could you be thinking that the novel was the easier option? Oh God.
I think we all started one during lockdown.
Yeah, along with the sourdough thing, and
Yes. So, is it? Do you want to go into detail what the novel's about, or you want to hold fire?
Oh, probably not. No, I mean, it's like, it's a sci-fi thriller, and it's not a story that I ever thought that I would write, but I'm into it now, and I kind of want to see it through. So, that was Friday. Quite a lot of Friday was editing, and it's quite a weird thing, the way it mutates the piece of writing. So every time you look at it, you see something else that needs to be altered or improved, or and I wonder, will it ever end?
Yeah.
Probably.
What draft
won't.
are you on? Is it the first draft? Or...
I'm only on the first. I literally just got the first, but yeah,
it will evolve.
So have you got a novel lying around?
No. I started writing a book because I had a character I used to do on John Holmes's show on Talk Radio, and his Radio Kent show, because I used to be one of his callers that used to come in, that used to call all the time.
Oh, did you? Oh, right. Right.
He had a bank of actors that used to call in. I was one of them. And it was a guy called Jeff who lives in Headcorn in Kent, and essentially, no matter what the topic was, he had a business that was about that topic. So it was things he always did it out of his shed. So he had a Hadron Collider at one point that he'd made in his shed, which he called the Headcorn Collider. He had the an airport in his back garden, that kind of thing. And I had all these like notes of all these different businesses, and I thought I'm just going to put these in a book, Jeff's Guide to Business. How I ran a business and failed each of them.
So I'm thinking Brian Butterfield.
Exactly.
Here, as you're talking.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of. But I imagine your guy's a really nice guy, nice businessman.
Well, would you say he was nice?
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
But an appealing idiot, or is he kind of because Brian Butterfield's really a bit scary, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But Jeff he was like that, and he just spoke, "Hello, how you doing?"
Sounds like Johnny Vegas.
He does sound like Johnny Vegas, but he would just like talk on the phone, just saying stuff like that. And
he sounds great.
But yeah, no, I got bored. I got bored of writing it, and
right, because it was just maybe like the one character. Do you think maybe you needed more characters?
There was no flow through, and it was just chapters of anecdotes and stupid things. But who knows? C'est la vie. It's all good.
There's ideas that might be resurfaced as something else.
Maybe
if they're written down.
Maybe so. But I mean, a sci-fi novel, it's not that, and that sounds great. I mean,
wow.
Very in.
I don't know. So much time devoted to it, but we'll see.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I'll
look forward to reading it at some point.
Plugging away. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that'd be great. A pair of eyes once, the first draft is done. I mean, the second draft rather. But I was listening to a podcast with Maggie O'Farrell and Kate Moss, and Maggie O'Farrell was like, "Oh yes, I probably do about 40 drafts." And what? 40 drafts of a novel, and I mean, it shows the writing is so beautiful.
Yeah. That's got to change so much after 40 drafts. That's got.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to read each draft because you could learn so much, couldn't you, about what she thought could be pruned out. And then I'm sort of tarting up the old show reel a bit. So
oh yes,
I haven't got my impressions reel added, or the audiobook reel added yet on the website. So that's on the agency website. I don't have a website. Do you have a website?
That's another thing.
That's another thing I need to do. Yeah.
I keep poking. See, I can design
I think I should as well, but then I think, well, what would I say?
Yeah. I do want one, but what do I put on it?
That's the thing, isn't it?
Podcast.
Yeah, podcast. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the week that was website.
Yeah.
Twat.
Oh,
we.
wow.
Twat.
Yeah, it's just like an analysis of me at the minute. It's just like breaking me down. What haven't I got? I haven't got a website.
Website.
I haven't got a reel.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything.
You need a haircut.
I do need a haircut. My God,
I must admit, when I was listening to your guests, I was thinking, well, there's Alex, and I'd like to ask him what his week was like. Has anyone asked you what your week was like?
One's cared.
No one's cared.
No, I thought of that as like a special of myself and Hayley.
That would be really good.
It's just not in. I mean,
I know what Alex's weeks are like, and that's probably why I haven't pursued that.
Yeah. It's not. Nothing overly exciting happens. I mean, at all.
But
really.
I mean, anything that distracts us from what's going on outside really is got to be good, hasn't it? I mean, it's just unbelievable what's happening. I mean, the Sue Gray report today. What are the odds? What are the odds of a resignation?
I mean, that has taken so long to surface, that Sue Gray report.
Yeah, Alex Lowe was talking about
Alex
that.
Lowe said he had advance. If you listen to Alex Lowe's episode,
That's a good one.
it's a great one because he makes up this whole thing that he's actually got the Sue Gray report and he reads all this stuff out that's happened.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
So I mean, and that was back in February. So, geez, it takes so long.
Yeah.
And of course, what's going to happen is that hard on the heels of the Sue Gray report, they're going to announce a windfall tax to make everyone go, oh, they are good guys after all. You know, it's
They're not.
And then put energy up again in October. And
Awful.
Yeah.
I can't think about it.
So, you know, anything that takes us away from that, I kind of, you know, I
think that's why I'm swearing so much in this episode. I'm so angry like at the world right now.
Yeah. And Ukraine and I mean, just everything. It's like all these sort of maniacal dictators. Well, what do they think is going to happen? You know, if they keep doing what they're doing,
you feel so helpless as well because there's nothing. If you really start thinking about it, you're like, there's nothing. Nothing I can do about this. And it's ugh.
So kind of
Thursday.
Oh, sorry that I brought it to a crashing halt now, haven't I? We were, you know, having a nice time.
Oh,
we were having a nice time.
This is escapism.
Yes. Okay.
Well, did you do the washing up? Just something.
Yeah, just give us something that isn't leaden and miserable and despicable. Yes. I heard a German speaker say the word squirrel recently, which pleased me greatly.
Oh, go on.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah, a squirrel.
That's beautiful.
It's nice. Yeah.
I find the American way of saying it because they say like squirrel, pretty much.
Squirrel.
Oh, the squirrel. Yes, that's right. It becomes a kind of a monophthong. Yeah, squirrel. Yeah, like that's right. Yeah, I was trying to remember that there's an ethos. I mean, that's a weird one, isn't it? The ethos and chamomile. Yes. And Barbados.
Whoa.
Alternate. I try not to get hung up on research when people say research and schedule.
Yeah.
Which are the American versions?
There's a video I saw recently of French people trying to pronounce really difficult English words. They weren't native speakers. They didn't speak English. And I think squirrel was one of them. And I think they became
How
sort
did
of
they say it then? Squirrel.
Yeah, something like that.
A squirrel.
But there was some really, really, really bizarre pronunciations of some of the words.
Actually, I worked with a French woman who used to say squirrel, and I can't remember how she used to say it, but I remember it being funny.
I quite like it when Spanish people say unbelievable. That's quite nice. Unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, you know, they still, you know, basically a lot of them can still speak English a lot better than I can speak their language. So,
well, this is the point, isn't it? Absolutely, every time. Like I'm a tennis obsessive, and you watch these guys giving interviews after they've won, and whatever language. I mean, I've seen them in French, in Spanish, and they're Eastern European, and English, of course. Wow, you know, they are so accomplished, and I mean, I learnt French, Spanish, and German at school, but only because I was born on an island off the coast of France.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can't imagine that I would have studied languages as you know, as widely if I'd been.
I mean, I did French and German at my school. But you know, I was in Lincoln, which I didn't do anything really.
We did French and then German, and then we had to pick one. And so I picked German because I butchered that less than I butchered French. But I'm learning Spanish at the moment, though.
Are you? What, Duolingo or
Yes.
on a course?
A Duolingo.
Duolingo is brilliant, actually. But are you on a proper course?
Not on a proper course. I've just been doing Duolingo at the moment, and we have a good friend who he was born in Argentina and grew up in Spain. So sometimes I'll ask him questions if Duolingo hasn't been clear about why something is this rule. Like I discovered, like, is it su? Like it's just used for his, her, there, and it's just like su, su.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Su. His, yes, his, and
So
yeah. Is it the
feminine, masculine for everything else, and then his, her, there, one word. That it's just confusing.
Yeah, I mean, but they say English is the most confusing of all. I mean, yeah, I think I found German quite tough, but dirty das, yeah. Sorry, this is scintillating.
The thing is, you say that. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, the good thing about the dirty das thing, and you know, just take a stab at it. You know, it's not you can't butcher it that badly. I think at least you get the point.
As long
across.
as you put the verb at the end.
Yes, exactly.
You can't go too far.
You need to add more than that.
Yeah, I understand. So Thursday was the I forgot squirrel. Thursday was the squirrel. Was that?
Was the German saying squirrel?
I have no idea. But Thursday's also another recording day for Absolute and Magic. So yeah, and Scala and Jazz. So yeah, and whatever else comes along.
What do you do for Magic? Because I only really heard that when I've been in the taxi late at night.
Oh right, yeah. So just some of their S&P stuff as well. So I'm not the voice of Magic per se. That's Claire Sturgis. So yeah, I sort of like bolster whatever stuff is going around that needs doing at that point in time. Yeah, and so a slightly different voice to Absolute, and slightly happier and kind of carefree, and people tune into Magic because they don't want to think about what's happening in the world.
Right,
I think
that's right. I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, I literally do mean that. I've only really heard Magic when I've been in the cab late at night.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've heard. And it's a Michael Bolton song, and then Magic FM, and you say Jazz FM and Smooth.
Yeah, Jazz FM as well. Yeah, so slightly more chilled, laid back read for them, and for Scala, just a whiff of classic FM in the read there, and.
Is that more of a sort of posher voice, or?
Well, I don't think so. I think there's a sort of a new wave of classical music lovers who don't want it too much Radio 3, and so it's kind of just bit more neutral. I mean, everything is wanting to be homogenized and neutralized these days. It's like you can't be too much this or too much that, and
inoffensive.
Maybe. Yeah. Broaden the appeal, broaden the market and everything. But I do hope that we hang on to all our accents in the future, because such a wealth of them in the UK, and
it is what makes us the UK, isn't it? Really. I mean, what's your favourite accent to do?
I love the Scottish accent, of course, and so yes, I love doing Lorraine, because I find her quite interesting, because she's a journalist. she's very, very bright, and she's born in Glasgow, but lives in, I think it's Dundee. I think she lives in Dundee, and it's just a really beautiful accent, and so the Scottish accent I love.
I just wish I was better at doing that sort of thing.
Well, just practice.
I can't.
It's practice. It is. It really is. I mean, to to be fair, I think, occasionally there are people that have, like, for me, it was a knack and then I worked on it. But you can do it the other way round. You can work on it that much that it does become like a knack. You can just sort of pick up. But yeah, it's an investment of hours and hours of time, really, and sort of forensic poring over scripts and breaking syllables down, and because I do a bit of dialect coaching as well, which I really love. I taught at Lambda for 2 years.
Okay.
That was great in the voice department. Yeah, so it can be done, and the process just requires you to unlearn first. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of stretches to when I first moved down to London. You tried, Emi, you tried to make me say my U's correctly for a little time, because because I say bucket or duck.
I think that's a lovely U.
Thanks. Thank you.
I didn't
It doesn't.
change
Yeah.
it.
Did you?
I just
you
took the
kept,
Mickey out of
you
you.
kept
I
correcting me.
I just said it was wrong. I didn't tell you to change it.
Oh, well,
But,
okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
It's very oh gosh, some people who have really strong accents don't believe they have accents. I mean, I have sort of worked with Britt Eklund in a play, and that was quite funny. We had to be two suburban housewives from Clapham and Wandsworth, and then she sort of had at one point in the play, she sort of has to say the word Basingstoke, and she went, Basingstoke. But I really don't have an accent, which is marvelous. So yeah, it's kind of. And my husband's from the West Country, and he really thinks, well, I've really lost my accent, and and you probably think you've lost your Lincoln accent,
No,
but
I don't think I have.
or you haven't.
Personally,
You haven't.
no.
It's not as strong as your mum's.
Oh no, my mum, or my uncle's.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I once had a guy sort of ask me about the Lincoln accent, and I couldn't really be as specific as I would like. How do you find it differs to other northern accents?
It's the way I sort of describe it is it's almost like a Yorkshire wannabe accent, almost.
Okay.
It's not quite as strong as a Yorkshire accent. So I mean, everything's you're right, Duck. How you doing? You're right, and that's
in Lincoln.
That's Lincoln. That's it. You're right, Duck. You're right,
Duck. Yeah,
Duck is
like
quite a lot, but it's not quite.
Not quite.
It's not quite. It's not Leeds. It's not going to Leeds.
Not Leeds. You wouldn't go Julie. You wouldn't say car park.
No.
I mean, Leeds is probably my favourite accent to do, actually.
It's a great accent.
I love that one.
Yeah.
It's so camp, but not. But my uncle is more Yorkshire, so he's in Lincoln. But he's very much he's like Jeff. He's very much like that. So that's what his voice is kind of based on, I guess. So
Jeff is great. You should. I can see him as a cabaret kind of character.
Yeah.
Showing
off his
like
invention.
Barry from Watford. You could. He's brilliant.
I'll ask Alex if that's all right.
Jeff.
Alex is brilliant. You can literally just say to Alex, "I've had an idea," and he'll say, "Yeah, do it." And he's so inclusive and welcoming, and I mean, Lewis and I have done lots of outrageous gigs at the 100 Club with Barry from Watford.
I can imagine. We love Lewis here, by the way.
He's what a talent.
Oh,
what a phenomenal talent.
Such a good episode, that. Yeah.
Just constantly on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's an exact blend of impressionist and actor, Lewis, because a lot of impressionists don't act, and it's quite interesting when you get an actor who is an impressionist, which Lewis is very much, kind of. Yeah. And he's got this great sort of dark, brooding quality which he can tap into, which is, yeah, it's a great guy.
When he turned up in Toast of Tinseltown as Orson Welles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
That was a turn.
Well, no, that's how I started out, was an impressionist as a kid. So that was, stand up. I used to go out with the Gary Shand Trio and Christopher Woodward, the magician, and my poor mum would sort of chaperone me to every kind of gig.
How old?
When I was about 10. Yeah,
10.
About 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in it a while then.
Oh my God, donkey's years. Yeah.
That's
1900 and frozen to death, as they say.
I'm terrible at doing impressions and stuff, but like I think that's my appeal. And using sound, I usually do sounds, and I did a terrible Pinker impression on the.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I might be able to do it better now.
I'll back out the way.
It's quite loud.
Okay.
So my fingers are.
Oh, that's brilliant! I love it.
Various noises. And I do a generic old lady, which is taking a mick out of the old ladies that Alex's mum lives. She lives in a retirement community.
Yeah, my mum does.
And just their conversation is just always about like on Sunday we had. What did we have? We had lamb. I had the lamb. You had the chicken. Yes, he had the chicken. And it's just like, why are you telling me this story? What happened? And then just going over the details of each other. Like maybe get your story straight and then tell me it. Each other.
It was that story about the woman who worked at the market.
Oh yeah,
right? There's a woman.
Oh, that was amazing.
This woman, she worked at the market years ago, and do you remember her?
She sold the peas.
Yeah, she sold the peas. Didn't have any thumbs. Do you remember?
It reminds me of that couple in the Fast Show. They're sitting on the plane, just going, "Tell me, you tell him what was his name? Derek, was it? Yeah."
Essentially that.
Yeah. Oh man. So we will move on to the weekend. Now then, we normally class the weekend as 2 days. So did anything exciting happen at the weekend, Kate?
Well, I got hammered on the tennis court.
But
not on the tennis court. not the kind of look. He was applauding me. Whoa!
Drunk tennis.
No, it was. I'm a tennis fanatic. I take it very seriously. I'm a good loser, which is just as well. But it was a tough game. It was 3 hours in the sunshine, and it was for a club, and it's for a league, and they were really, really excellent players around me, and it was humbling, isn't it? That's what they say. Yeah. But tennis is really interesting sport for resilience, and only if you love tennis. I mean, for people listening, if you're not into tennis, just fast forward. Put your finger on that thing and then just sort of slide it along about an inch. No, I won't go on and on. But,
I will put a marker in.
Yeah, so that was the kind of, and it's awful because you see, whenever you play tennis, everyone always says, "Did you win?" You see, because of course that is the point, isn't it? Not did you have a nice game? No, it's did you win?
Did you lose?
Did you? Yeah. That would be refreshing. That would be refreshing. Did you lose? Yes.
Come
on,
again?
Get in. You lost.
Was it just a one-on-one type?
No, it's
thing, or did you
doubles, which is
doubles?
worse in a way
Oh,
because you're responsible, your partner, and
yeah.
a couple of many double faults from me, and it was mixed doubles, and
Wow.
yeah, so that was part of the weekend that
Is that a
I'd like to
regular
kind of.
weekend occurrence then? Or?
Oh, yeah. At this time of year, my family are kind of, they don't see that much of me. Whenever I can play tennis, I will.
Nice.
Or watch it.
Oh,
So yeah, I've got the French Open on downstairs at the moment, and there's a tie break between two players. So I've frozen it until we finish, and then I'll resume.
Right.
Well, I was going to say, I went to high school in Wimbledon, and so they use the schools there. There's a few high schools that they use for the ball boys and ball girls. So I went to an all girls school, and they did the ball girl training at our high school. So I went to the first session, and
yeah,
I think this is where my issues with like authority of things came in, because I didn't last part beyond the first session, because they said, well, you have to stand there.
What happened?
But they were saying that like expect to take abuse kind of thing, and they're saying like if you stand there, if you get hit, you can't move. You can only move slightly to get out the way, but you got to take it. And if the tennis players are rude at you, you can't answer back and stuff like that.
Wow,
that ain't for me. I will answer back. It's not for me. But I have like some friends and someone I'm still really good friends with, even from back then. And she says it was one of the best times of her life was being a ball girl at Wimbledon. She was so proud of it. But yeah, it wasn't for me, but it was for the more sporty girls at the school. And it was quite cool seeing them on television and that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know. I'm sort of like, I feel completely torn between your version of what a ball kid is and what the other, it's like, yeah, I can imagine that they do have to take a lot of crap. I can see that. And there's one player, I think he recently took his racket to the umpire's feet. So, at the end of the match, I mean, there's some terrible behavior. It's true. On the tennis
it
court.
wasn't given to expect it from all tennis players or anything like that. It was just, that's what I took away from it, and so that's all I remember. So that's what I focused on was, even if it's just one of them, I'm not gonna really enjoy that.
I think you were probably too clever to be a ball kid. Definitely.
I think I'm too obnoxious. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
But there is this kind of like weird sort of weird discipline, a bit like dancers. I always used to marvel at how rudely dancers were treated by choreographers, by everyone. I mean, there's a lot of rudeness in our business, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously that's different to, but there's a similar ethos. It's like the thing that we're supporting is so important that your personal sort of dignity must be ignored. It's kind of and
this is a privilege and things like that. Like, not for me.
Good for you.
Nah. I walked out of my first job at 16 because I didn't like the tone the manager took with me one day. I was at a McDonald's. She was
what was the tone?
What was it? It's McDonald's is young people getting promoted very early, so they get very I don't know, doped up on power or something that they think they have. So there's me as a 16-year-old getting told off by a 20-year-old, and I just like, nah. so I walked out.
Good for you. I mean, I walked out of a dance college, actually. I went there the year before drama school because they used to routinely ask the girls to lose weight by the end of term, or they'd be out, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And this had pulled me to the front of the class during one dance class. And I was, an actor, performer. I wasn't essentially a dancer. And she sort of cleared away the condensation from the mirror and she said, I want you to take a good look at yourself in the mirror. And it's like a full class,
Wow.
She said, do you think you look glamorous? Wow. And I was like, just in an old tracky kind of whatever, shuffling around at the back apologetically. And I was like, No, not really. And she said, do you think you look attractive? I said,
Man.
no, but I'm in a dance class. Do you think if I had a producer walking through the school now that he might look at you and think, wow, that girl's got something really special? I was like, nah, probably not. No. Right. Melanie, darling, will you just take Kate and will you just fix her up with some, I don't know, you know the kind of thing and whatever. And that was it. So I walked out.
Wow.
And never came back. Yeah.
That's a grown woman.
But that is the kind of, I mean,
like that.
it is a bit shocking sometimes in our business, isn't it? That sort of
that's
rubbish.
horrible.
Yeah.
That is
That
horrible.
you're meant to suck up, but not on a weekend. You see, at the weekend, I love to do nothing. I like to do nothing. That's my greatest thrill, is to have nothing in the diary.
That is good.
Yeah.
Tennis and then no commitments.
Yeah.
No commitments. Just maybe a bit of this country. I've just got into this country. I've just discovered it.
Okay. Have you seen there's an American version of that now?
No. What of like Kerry and like Curtin sort of what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
What they've got an American version.
Yeah, it's called Welcome to
where
Flatch.
is it set? Deep South?
Flatch. It's a place called Flatch.
Okay,
and,
so made up place?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what Flatch means.
Something to do with is it a wet fart?
It's a wet fart. That's right. It's a wet fart. That's what.
Something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
slang for that. So yeah, it's called Welcome to Flatch. Paul Fee is behind it. Yeah.
And what did you think?
I didn't watch it. I just know that because the fifth guest on the podcast was someone who's in it.
Yeah.
And that was like, the fifth guest. So that would have been 2001. It only came out this year, so it's like
2001.
2001.
2001.
2021. Jeez.
This podcast has been going a long time.
Fantastic.
2021. I forgot the 20. Sorry.
I was saying, God, blimey, this podcast has been going a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd think we'd have more listens by now, wouldn't you? But yeah, he was like, kind of excited about it, building it up, and then it's like it just took forever for it to come out. And I've never watched it. I don't know.
Never
It's got a
watched
second
it?
season.
On principle or?
No, well, I just
on principle.
never watched it.
Haven't watched it.
Never watched it. I don't know where I can watch it. It's not out for it. But yeah, it's been renewed for a second season, so that's great.
Oh
something.
wow! Okay.
So there we go.
So,
who knows? But yeah, this country is a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to look at the US version just to marvel at how
Sean
wrong
William Scott
they
is
get
in
it,
it. From American Pie. Do you remember Sean William Scott, Stifler?
No.
Yeah, he's in it.
No. Okay, so good cast, but yeah, I mean, why did they do this? Why would you take something that is so, like, basically intrinsically a tiny area in one country and try and transplant it? It just, I don't understand that.
Don't know. They like to do it.
Yeah,
it's like they did it with Ghosts as well, didn't they? They did it with they've got an American version of Ghosts.
Have they? Wow.
Yeah.
I love the English one.
That is kind of cool, the American one, though, because they've got like different characters. They've got like a Native American and stuff, haven't they? And things like that, which is so they're kind of. I don't know. I haven't watched it. We haven't watched it.
I've seen the first episode, and it's not awful. But when you've seen the English version, it's just not the same.
What's the
it's
point?
just not as good.
No. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the
I
point?
mean, well, do you think they'll ever do a UK Seinfeld? Can you imagine?
No. I mean, who
I
would
went
you
to
cast?
see Seinfeld live just before, in 2019
Oh,
over
really?
here. Did you
Wow.
get to see him at all? The
No.
Hammersmith when he did that gig. Oh right. Wow. Yeah. I'm just. I every time I watch Seinfeld, I just. I cannot believe how ageless it is.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
all other comedies age, and the fact that there's no mobile phone in it doesn't make any difference at all. It's so weird. It's
like it's a choice. It was a choice then not to have it in.
Yeah. Or just like it's so astute and so clever and so truthful that it's timeless. Yeah, it's ageless, I think. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, I don't know who, if they remade that in the UK, I don't know who they'd cast, to be honest. That's the main thing. Who is our equivalent of Seinfeld?
No, I know. Ricky Gervais?
Ugh. He's got enough on.
He's got a lot.
He's got
Richard
enough on.
Ayoade?
Richard
Ayoade?
I'd watch a Richard Ayoade Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Ayoade, just called Ayoade. I'd watch that.
Ayoade, yeah. With Catherine Parkinson as Elaine.
Of course, yes.
And then Matt Berry as Kramer.
I mean, Matt Berry has to be in there. Full stop.
Yeah. So basically, all the IT crowd.
Yeah, we just gotta grab everyone from the IT crowd.
Chris O'Dowd as.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, Chris O'Dowd as. No, actually, Matt Berry as George, maybe. Yeah. And Chris O'Dowd as Kramer. Yeah.
Just amp up his Irishness even more. So he's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, if there's any producers listening, yes.
There you go. Half the job's done for you.
Yeah, all done.
That's
Scripts are there, all good. Well, I'm gonna wrap this one up now. I think we've had a lovely chat, and it's been a lovely week. Kate, is there anything you would like to plug or promote or get off your chest or confess to or?
I don't think so. Gosh, no. I think I've exhausted everything in our in our chats. You know.
Yeah.
I wish I'd sort of probably put more gags in there for you, but you know. Oh, look, you've got Pippa.
There she is.
Oh,
she's been snoring throughout, and she's been quite loud, so I reckon that's been picked up.
Oh, I couldn't hear her at all.
You can hear her now.
Oh, let's hear.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a grumble.
I'll bark and see if she responds. I think you did that, didn't you?
Yeah. Who's that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, no, nothing. No, okay.
So she'd have to see it.
Yeah, she has to see it.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
She's gorgeous.
We watch YouTube videos with dogs in, and sometimes just one will catch her eye, and then she'll just bark at the TV constantly.
What? Because of the sound they make, or because of the look of them?
It's a combo. I think it's a. I was watching. I thought I'd watch The Game, the Michael Douglas film. I haven't seen that in a while. I watched that last night because I like it a lot. And there's a bit where he's being chased by a dog. She went fucking mental.
Really?
She was asleep for ages, and all of a sudden she was like, "Ooh, ooh." And
remember when she tried scaring away the bear?
Yeah, she tried to scare away a bear in a YouTube video as well once, but
she timed it so the bear did get scared away by something else in the video, but she thinks it was her.
So.
Yeah.
She does. Oh, she's adorable. I'd love a dog so much, and I'd love a dog like Pippa, a pug.
They
gorgeous.
Are ridiculously.
I used to have a bulldog, so.
Really?
Yeah. I think they have a similar temperament.
Yeah, just like everything they do is funny and adorable, isn't it?
Yes.
And a little bit stubborn and a bit lazy, but.
I think he had the weirdest sort of whine I think I've ever heard. I don't know if pugs are the same, but it's like
that is very similar.
It's kind of, and then he'd have this really quite deep as well. So sort of
with Pippa when she barks, it actually. When you look at her, it looks like it's coming out of both ends because her bum hole like puckers as well at the same time.
Skid.
Just the
her back feet skid. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not quite sure where the noise is coming from, really. The bark's
Bit
coming
like
from the front of
birds.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's so far back in the pug. So far back.
We used to have a free-range guinea pig. Unfortunately, she died, but she got us through. Oh, she was so great, and she was like, whenever she would do that, that amazing little noise they do. The whole body. Similarly, it's like it came from the bum. Kind of, and the ears used to quiver.
Oh, it's scary, isn't it? And
In
Pippa
the
does a
absence
little.
of a dog,
I know she does a little chirrup.
Yeah,
when,
she chirruped earlier.
She's done it quite a few times actually. When I'm preparing her food, so she'll bark at me, and then there's like this little. It's like a little chirrup almost. And it's
a little flutter in it. Yeah.
She's a silly sod.
She does shout at Alex a lot.
She shouts at me a lot. She just has a go constantly.
Does she?
knows
Are
that he'll
you
give in
more
and give
likely
a
to
shit.
cave first and give her what she wants? Yeah. So she
And
knows.
this is quite a recent thing as well. We've had
You're
her quite
the
a while.
soft touch.
Yeah, we've had her quite a while, and she's discovered that if she barks at me, she'll get a treat, and that's in the last year.
Yeah, it has been a recent thing. And I've told him not to cave in, and she'll stop doing it. But
She doesn't stop. That's the problem. She doesn't.
Oh, you have
stop.
to watch César. Do you watch César?
Oh, I've seen César.
Yeah.
Yes,
César's good, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good.
He knows his stuff, doesn't he?
like
He does.
a
Yeah.
wizard.
I did a César to a friend's dog, and they were like really offended with me because his dog like leapt towards me, barking on a greeting, and I just went like this, and it was like, wow, okay, hi, how are you?
Pippa's so dumb; she would not get that
I
at
don't
all.
think she would.
She has no concept of things like that. She doesn't even recognize a name. She grew up with cats essentially. She's an ex-breeding dog. We got her when she was 5. Yeah.
Right.
Well, her name's Pippa, but it's Pipa. That's what it originally was.
Pipa.
Yeah, Pipa. And her owner is Polish, and Pipa in Polish is not a particularly nice word. Google it.
God. Okay.
Yeah. So she's now
P.I.P.A.
Pippa.
So you
Polish.
doctored
she's now-
it to.
Pippa. And it suits her. But yeah, she grew up with cats, so she's fine with other cats. Doesn't give a toss. But other dogs, doesn't want to give it the time of day at all. She doesn't like it. Doesn't
she
play.
kind of,
doesn't do anything.
Okay, so well, was she a rescue dog then, basically?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
essentially.
rehome, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Aw.
but yeah, she's a sweetheart. So you say you have nothing to plug.
I don't know. No,
No,
nothing to
just
plug.
listen to
That's fine.
listen-
You don't have to.
listen to Absolute Radio. Just listen to Smooth. Listen to Jazz FM.
Well, you could plug that clip of the Maybelline.
Oh yeah,
voices.
I'll just
set a link for that.
I'll just do that as the end.
Well,
ad.
and listen to this podcast. Oh, you are.
yeah.
It's a good point though, because I've been trying
listen
to
the other ones.
I've been trying to
there's
work
a
this in.
wealth.
Do listen to the other episodes of the podcast and do subscribe if you like what you hear. First time I've done that an episode. Well, Kate O'Sullivan, it has been an absolute joy talking to you. It really, really has.
Mhm.
And
Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
no, it's been a joy. Anything to add, Emi?
No, never.
Never anything to add.
Never
No.
anything to add.
Right, well, that's it. Yes, that's it. My thanks to Kate O'Sullivan. My thanks to Emi Webber. I've been Alex Sievewright, and that was the week. That was it. Goodbye.
Racist motherfuckers. New racist birds from Maybelline, New York. They will detect any immigrants in the UK that are here illegally and tell them where to go. Several phases for every occasion. Get the racist bird look.
Maybe she's not born in the UK.
Maybe they're racist birds.